All right. So that is the 30 minutes speaking. So let's start it. So what advice do you have for graduates? Recently, I don't want to apply for job at SolarCity or Tesla or SpaceX. And I felt that if it doesn't work for whatever reason, then apply to jobs at other companies in that arena or try starting a company. This is the engineering and you figure out how to design new things. Then it's relatively easy to start a company. Just need to get a few like-minded people with you, or even so that the space business is quite it's very hard to start a company in space business because it's such capital intensive business. So it may be better to do something in solar power, or if you're gonna do this in cars, do it in this kind of component supplier of cars for something like that. Must have college degrees in business and physics. But SpaceX is first venture in aerospace. How did you get to the aspect to the chief of technology officer of rocket ship company? Well, I do have a physics background that helpful as a foundation. I read a lot of books and talk a lot about smart people and I just follow the trend. You may have heard me say it's good to think in terms of the physics approach first principles, which is rather than reasoning by analogy. You boil things down to the most fundamental tools to get image, and you reason up from there. It is a good way to figure out if something really makes sense, or if it's just that everybody else is doing. It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It takes a lot of effort. But you're trying to do something new, it's the best way to think. A math framework was developed by physicists to figure out cognitive things like quantum mechanics. So really a powerful method. And I want to know what is the one thing that surprised you about your life? Well, something that is surprised about quarantine, honestly. Um, I didn't expect me to be for any of these things to happen. Honestly, um, yeah, I just I know wanted to be involved in technology, and in fact, the reason was that the company back in 1995 exited the company was because I would be getting wouldn't a few companies in the company and I couldn't get a job at any of them. Um, to get a job at Netscape, and I sent my resume and I tried to hang out in the lobby, but it was to sign to talk to anyone. It was like, okay, well, I guess I have to start a company because I get a job anywhere. Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I feel quite strongly. But if the really isn't that doing things important enough, then just override the fear. So based on my thoughts, I don't fear. I feel like fear is more stronger than we look like. So this is the 5 seconds advertisement. I think also people tend to overweight risk on personal level. So one thing you got to do, a mortgage to pay and kid to support, and then if you work deviate from your job, and well, then how are you going to feed your family and pay the rent? Okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college, or coming out of high school, or whatever. What do you risk? You're not gonna staff. I mean, usually, certainly not in any kind of modern economy, so easy to earn enough money. Just live somewhere and eat food. I don't know what the other people what they are afraid of. They're mostly afraid of failure. I think people should be less risk averse. Then there's not much at risk. What's education like? Basically, downloading data and algorithm into your brain, And it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education. So it's like huge charge. Like what you can accompany the process of learning better, the better. Also, there's a lot of lies like technologists because we're trying to figure out what does it all mean, like what the purpose of things. And they came to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of the world, we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness. Then we better able to ask the correct questions and become more enlightened, and that's really the only way forward. What drives you? What is it when you wake up in the morning to see the problem and you want to solve it? Um, the thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So, we are doing that what we can to have the future be as good as possible. Um, to be inspired by what's likely to happen, um, and to look forward to the next day. Um, so that what really drives me is trying to figure out how do we make sure that things are great. And when we saw, and that's the a large principle behind Tesla's SpaceX. Um, is that I think it's pretty important that we accelerate the transition to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. But it's inevitable what is smarter if it happens sooner or later. So this is the another 5 seconds of advertisement right there. And that's basically is about helping make life multi-planetary, um, and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo and ultimately make contribution to life becoming multi-planetary. Let's talk about more about that. I think everyone is very interested that when you say making life multi-planetary, yeah, exciting. It is exciting. So what your vision there? I think particularly for Americans, if you think about it, America is a nation of explorers. People come here from other parts of the world, like choose to give up the known in favor of the unknown. So I think as exploration, like the United States, is a distillation of human spirit of exploration. And this is why it appealed to Americans so much. You know, you can see this when this was certainly tragedy and 7 people died. And that's terrible, but a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because it was a dream of exploration. It was dying along with those people. That's why. I talk about thought Tesla and SpaceX who failed at the beginning. You thought? Yeah, sure. Really? Of course. You thought you put all your money in them? I expect to lose it, and well, technically, what I thought was we'll take half money from PayPal, and if we lose half of it, that's okay. But of course, the companies encounter difficulties, and then I have a choice of either let the company die or put all the money into the companies. And so I really don't want the company to die, so I put all the money in the companies. Yeah, and I have to borrow money from friends to pay living expenses. Yes. You're just looking just for evidence of exceptional ability. And it's less track record of exceptional achievement than slightly that will continue into the future. Well, it really depends on the stake. The stakes, if the stakes are high, if it's really important, then one should then overcome the fear and just do it anyway. Um, unnecessarily, I mean, I just override fear, but I feel the fear. It's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I felt it less. Um, all right. So this is the end of this 10-minute speaking video. I have very little bit of time. I'm gonna spend a little bit for this 20 minutes French speaking. Then I'm gonna go to bathroom. Yeah, sure. That is a pretty good idea. All right. Bye for now.